Coming to you straight from Fremont, California, this is the Fremont Podcast, dedicated to telling the stories of the past and present of the people and places of the city of Fremont, one conversation at a time. Now, here's your host, Ricky B.
Hello again, and welcome to episode number 2 of the Fremont Podcast. Anyone interested in taking accordion lessons? Well, today on the podcast, I'm going to have a conversation with someone who is managing a local business here in Fremont that started by selling accordion lessons door to door. Allegro Music has been helping the people of Fremont make music for over 50 years. You're going to enjoy this conversation. Don't go anywhere.
One of the great things, interesting things that I do as the general manager of Allegro Music is that I hire people. One day I got a call from this lady who told me that her son Anthony has never worked a job before, but he loves playing music and she thinks he would be a perfect fit for us. And I said, so I just want to understand, you're a mom and you're calling up for your son to get him a job interview. And I said, I can't do that. I said, but she was very nice. She's a mom. She talked to me like a mom, and which means she was like to the point, insistent about a little bit, but very nice and polite. So I said, I'll interview him, but I'm not going to hire him. If he can't come in and talk to me directly to ask for an interview, I'm not going to hire him. So Anthony comes in. Anthony's 18, and I was just trying to have a younger salesman to relate to our clientele. And he comes in and he does like a 20-minute interview with me, and he knows gear. He knows. I said, well, what kind of guitars do you have? Oh, I have this. I said, what about what amplifier? Well, I have this amplifier. What about effects? Oh, I got a lot of effects. And he just nailed it. And I said, your mom got you in here, which I would never do, but you nailed it and you got the job. It's a great story, and he's been very good for us.
That's great.
Yeah,
I love it.
So your mom's out there. I don't know why I did this, but your mom was right, Anthony.
So I am with Clarence. He is the general manager of Allegro Music. And Allegro Music has been around in Fremont for how long?
Since 1961.
1961. So that's just a few years after Fremont became a city.
Yes.
Yeah, that's great. So a lot of people might not even realize that there is a music store in Fremont, as well as the fact that it's been around that long. It's amazing to think that people miss it.
Yes, and I hear that all the time, as long as we've been here. So I didn't know you guys were here. We saw your TV commercial, and I went, where are they?
Wow.
So Charlotte and Joe Jansky, as a young couple, came out from Wisconsin, and he just got out of the Navy, and they were looking for a family-friendly city to start a music store and raise their family of 4 kids.
Wow.
So they came out here in 1961 and they started Allegro Music at the Irvington Shopping Center where Cloverleaf Bowl used to be.
Yeah.
And so they started there, and in 1967 they moved to the Fremont Hub.
Okay.
Which, if you're older, you can remember that. In 68, Joe died of a big, massive heart attack. And Charlotte raised 4 kids and kept the business going.
Wow.
Just an amazing story. Doesn't want to talk about it, she's not that, but she's something to work for. It's been great.
So Allegro, did it start off as a supplier for instruments, or did they start off selling just sheet music, or what did they start off selling?
Joe started off in 61 selling accordion lessons door to door.
Accordion lessons. Yeah, oh my goodness.
Yeah. We taught accordion, organ lessons. We had pianos. And the great thing about Allegro is that we would change. When accordions went away, we moved to organs. We had over at the hub, we had an organ room where people could get organs. We had organ shows. And then we also sold pianos, both of which went away. We moved over to Walnut Plaza in 1982.
Okay.
Which is like a whole generation ago. And most people, a whole generation of people only know us from here. And we change things around. We keep on moving and changing with our customers.
Wow, that's awesome. So you keep saying we. I'm just curious, Clarence, when did you enter the picture?
1979.
Wow.
I've been working for Allegro Music for 42 years.
Wow.
Yeah, life in a music store, it's a rough life. Yeah.
Now, are you a musician as well? What do you do?
Yeah, I play bass, I play keyboards, I play guitar, I sing, I play in bands, and I love it.
Wow.
One of the prerequisites to working at Allegro Music is you have to play an instrument.
Yeah.
And which Anthony does.
That's great. Yeah. Well, I love the fact that's one of the prerequisites, because I mean, when somebody comes into a store and they want to be able to purchase something, or they are looking for some advice on a particular piece of gear or whatever, if you don't know anything about it, or if you haven't used it and you're not familiar with it, I mean, that it ends up being really a downer for people who are shopping for that. I've actually had, I'll personally say my experience with Allegro Music. I moved to Fremont over 7 years ago, and shortly after I moved here, I was playing a Taylor acoustic guitar, and somehow it fell over and the neck split on it. And I Googled, a music shop. Maybe I think I Googled Taylor distributor or shop or whatever, and I found Allegro Music. So I came down here, and you guys took my Taylor guitar, and within about a month and a half, you guys did what you needed to, but I got it back, and I've been playing it in that condition ever since, and I love it. It's great. It's in great shape. My second big, thing with Allegro is that during COVID, we got that stimulus check, right? Mm-hmm. And my wife is a pianist. She was at home, but we did not have a piano. We did not have anything that she could play, and we're stuck at home. So we got the stimulus check, and I called down here. And this was before they started opening up for essential work or non-essential.
This was during the shutdown.
Yeah.
And me and Charlotte were working the stores by ourselves because everybody had been laid off, which everybody knows about. And I remember you coming to the door, and told me your story about you. Hey, we wanted to get a keyboard, but you didn't know anything about it, which is something I hear all the time.
Yeah.
So, and I said, well, I'm not supposed to let anybody in, but I don't know how to show a keyboard unless I show you a keyboard.
Right. Yeah.
And so you came in.
And we got it. Yeah. And we still, my wife plays it all the time. Love it. And then I was in the process of upgrading some of my recording gear, actually the microphones that we are using right now. I thought, a podcast would be a great thing to really take and run with during COVID. And so I needed some better microphones. So I came down here, and by that time I think you had opened the doors and customers were able to come in and all that. But I ended up, I wanted to buy microphones from a local company. I didn't want to just Amazon or I didn't want to just go to a big box online store. I wanted to buy locally. And so I came down here and placed an order for these microphones that we're using right now. Yeah. And it took a while because everything was back ordered.
Because we couldn't
Everything was back ordered.
One of the great things I really appreciate from you is that we had a great interaction about the keyboard, which you got.
Yep.
And then you came in and asked about the microphone, a Shure microphone, which you can totally get anywhere. Mm-hmm. But you came and gave me the business. Mm-hmm. Because, part of the reason that mom and pop stores, small stores, stay in business is they have a loyal customer base who want to buy from us, who want to give us the business. Mm-hmm. A great thing about Allegro Music is that I hear all the time, I don't know anything about this. This is a silly question. And I said, no, there's no silly questions. Because people love to talk about what they want to do. I just want to find out what they want, what they would like to do. And let me show and let me ask and find and tell you about the instruments and what's going on. Because if you think about it, most every store you go into is a big warehouse. You go get your stuff, you come up to the front, they check you out, and you go home. Mm-hmm. Here at Allegro, you come in, we talk, I say, hi, how you doing? Hey, I want to get a guitar, but I don't know anything. Well, let me tell you about guitars. And then we go from there. Mm-hmm. I mean, there are, I would say, probably very little or no stores in the Bay Area that look like Allegro Music. I made it light. The walls are white. It's open. There's a lot of stuff in here. It needed to be what we are, which is family friendly. I want kids of all ages to come in and feel good. I want moms and dads and kids to come in and feel good about coming in and let's talk. So that's why we have a good relationship with all the schools, all the churches.
Yeah.
That's
great.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think, we kind of already hinted at this already, but we started off with accordions back in 61, transitions to organs, pianos. And so now we sit in the store on near Paseo Padre and
Walnut
Avenue. And we're surrounded by guitars. We're surrounded by all different types of instruments. We've got sound systems. We've got sheet music. We've got a lot of different things.
Band instruments, trumpets, clarinets, flutes, all of that.
Yeah.
And lessons which are key, which are now coming back.
Yeah. So
COVID.
So how does that work? Because what kind of lessons do you offer? And then how did you survive keeping lessons through COVID? How does that even happen?
It doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Before COVID started, we had 700 students a week.
Wow.
21 teachers. All of that went away. And so we had rental payments. We had customers who wanted to buy from us. I had email, I had text. I was just doing what I could, and me and Charlotte, to keep the store open. Then gradually things started coming back. I got 1 or 2 teachers who would teach online. I changed the Wi-Fi so I could handle 5 Zooms and 5 computers, because I just adapt to what it is.
Yeah.
That's what we do. We adapt. And this microphone that you're talking on now is for podcasting online, and so I got a lot more of those. Just trying to find out. That's a great thing about Anthony, a recent hire here, is he knows about online recording,
great.
I don't.
So you had 700 plus students before COVID, and then did you have any students that you were able to retain throughout COVID, or did you have to start from ground up? All over again and try to get those students back?
About half and half. At this point now, we have 11 teachers and over 300 students.
Wow.
Which is halfway there.
Yeah, you're halfway there. Yeah.
But the way the store lives and breathes is families coming in, lessons going on, music being played. It's not a library. I want to hear some things going on.
Yeah.
So that's coming back. It's hasn't been easy for a local business during the COVID, but we're still here.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
I can hear it in your storytelling, Clarence. I love the fact that you love the community. You love what you do. You love music.
Yeah.
You love the families and the customers. What really, when you come into work each day here, what are the things that you look forward to? What are the things that you get excited about when you come in?
It's the oddest thing. I'm a family guy.
Yeah.
And I'm a grandpa guy, and I just I love coming in here. Allegro Music is my other family.
Yeah.
So I love to hang out with them.
Yeah.
I
love that.
When I had back surgery 5 years ago, and I was out for 2 weeks, and I recovered quickly, and I got in the car because they told me I would be out for 2 months. I got in the car and drove down, and they were just like, "Hey, Clarence!" It was so exciting, I almost cried, because it's like being greeted by your family. So I work in a music store with my Allegro family. And I want to do the same thing for other families that come in.
That's great.
I love it.
That's awesome. Give me maybe 1 or 2 of your favorite stories or favorite memories of the 42 years that you've worked here. Pick something that you look back on and you just think this really captures for me why I'm here or what I love about it, or just a great memory. What are some of those memories that you have?
One of the interesting things over the years, first thing was the first day I worked here, is that I just started cleaning up stuff. It was immediately I fit in. Charlotte says she remembers the first day I started working. Says it's like you always worked here.
Did your mom get you the interview?
No, so how I got the interview. So single guy, divorced, raising my 3 kids. A girl asked me to go out. I said, I don't have any money for that. She says, I'm going to take you out. We go to this album release party. Dwight, who used to have my job, he was there with his wife, Margie. I come up. He said, come on, sit with us. I sat with him. And he said, well, what are you doing? He said, well, I'm just not working right now. I used to manage a music store. He says, well, we're looking for a salesman because our salesman just left. Would you be interested in working for us? And that's how I got the job.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's
it
great.
is. It is great.
So you said the first day you were working here, you were telling me a little bit about the story of the first day you worked here.
The first day I was working here, Dwight just had a whole bunch of stuff that needed to get done because he was overworked. And so I just started jumping in and finding stuff and putting it in the right place. It just felt like I always worked here.
That's great.
One of the funny things is that when we started shooting commercials, and a lot of people know us from our TV commercials, is that the guy who used to do the background left to go because his mom was ill. And they asked me, he said, well, do you think you can do the background on this? And I said, well, sure. She says, it needs to be 29 or 29.5 seconds. Here's the script. So I went in the booth, and every time I said it, it was 29, 29.5. So I did that well. And then at some point, they decided, well, how about if we put you on camera? And that worked out. And then Tom Bryant, who is the producer of our commercials, he has, because basically I'm a one-hit wonder. I have one good idea. Tom has many ideas, and probably the most popular is the gorilla commercials.
Yeah.
And Tom produces all of that, comes in with a script, says, here you go. And one time he gave me a rap commercial, and I said, I don't know how to rap. He said, don't worry. He said, when they hear you, they'll know.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so it's kind of making fun. I love it.
Yeah, that's great. Well, Clarence, I really appreciate the work that you do. I'm really glad Allegro is here. If you had something that you wanted to tell the community or encourage them now as we're hopefully coming out of all of this mess with COVID and stuff, and there's something that Allegro can offer to our community, what would it be? What would you invite people to?
I had this guy who came in. He was 75. He had lost his wife. He was retired. He said he always wanted to play tenor sax and he wanted to play swing music, but he was too old and he couldn't do that. I said, you're never too old. All you need to learn is to get an instrument, and you can rent it from us, you can buy it from us, take lessons, and practice. And so he rented an instrument, and he took lessons, and after about a year, he was going, ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. So everybody thinks they can't play, and it takes God-given talent. All you need to do is get the instrument, take some lessons. Everybody can play. I play, believe me. I've been told to stop a lot.
Well, that's great. Well, I hope that people in Fremont hear this. I hope that they come in here and find an instrument that they maybe have been dreaming about learning how to play. And I hope they come on down here and take advantage of that.
I feel, my brother always tells me I'm lucky. And I tell you, with Allegro music, I feel like a lucky guy.
That's great. Well, thank you, Clarence. Thank you for your time, and really hope you guys do well, and you continue to grow and continue to, to bless the community.
Thanks, Ricky. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
You've been listening to the Fremont Podcast. Be sure to subscribe wherever it is that you listen so you don't miss an episode. And if you're so inclined, leave a kind review so that others can find the podcast. To stay connected with us, you can find links to our social media and other content at thefremontpodcast.com. This episode was hosted, edited, and produced by Ricky B. Music provided through Soundstripe.com. I'm Gary Williams. Join us next week on the Fremont Podcast.